Welcome to Learn English by Listening. In this episode, you'll hear a story called The Rainy Thursday Decision. It's told in slow and clear English, so you can improve your listening skills and enjoy the story at the same time. Remember, you can pause, repeat and listen again whenever you need. Now, relax, listen carefully, and let's begin. I never thought one small decision could change everything. But sometimes life has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. It all began on a rainy Thursday evening. I was sitting in my tiny apartment, staring at my phone, wondering how I had ended up so stuck. I had a job I didn't like, friends who didn't really understand me, and dreams that felt too big to ever chase. Deep down, I wanted something more. I wanted adventure, meaning, and the chance to see who I could become if I stepped outside of my comfort zone. That night, while scrolling endlessly, a message popped up on my screen. It was about an opportunity to study abroad for 6 months. It sounded like everything I had ever wanted, but it also terrified me. The deadline was the next day. If I didn't make a choice now, the chance would disappear forever. I remember my heart racing. I imagined leaving behind my family, my friends, my routines. What if I failed? What if I couldn't handle it? What if I was making the biggest mistake of my life? But then another thought whispered, what if this is the opportunity I've been waiting for? What if this is the moment that changes everything? I barely slept that night. My mind kept replaying the same questions over and over. I saw myself staying where I was, safe, but unfulfilled. And I saw myself jumping into the unknown, scared but alive. The next morning, with shaking hands, I clicked apply. I had no idea if I would be accepted, but in that moment, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: courage. Weeks later, I received an email. I had been chosen. Suddenly, my ordinary life was gone, replaced by a whirlwind of preparation, packing, and goodbyes. When the day finally came, I stood in the airport, suitcase in hand, feeling a mixture of excitement and absolute fear. I almost turned back, but then I reminded myself, growth never happens in comfort. Arriving in a foreign country was overwhelming. The language sounded strange, the streets looked unfamiliar, and I felt completely out of place. The first few days were hard. I got lost, I misunderstood people, and I cried quietly at night, wondering if I had made a mistake. But little by little, something began to change. I met people who welcomed me with kindness. I discovered hidden cafes, beautiful parks, and traditions that opened my eyes to a new way of living. Every mistake became a lesson, and every fear turned into strength. One moment stands out. I was invited to share my story in a small group of locals and international students. At first, I hesitated. I was afraid my English wasn't good enough. But I spoke anyway, and to my surprise, they listened. They didn't laugh, they didn't judge, they connected. That night, I realized that vulnerability is not weakness. It is the bridge that brings us closer. Months passed, and the person who once doubted every step had transformed. I was no longer afraid of being different, no longer trapped by the expectations of others. I had discovered a version of myself I didn't know existed, braver, freer, and more alive. When the program ended and I returned home, people asked me what had changed. The truth is, everything had changed, not because of the place, but because of the choice. The choice to take the risk, to walk into the unknown, and to believe that even if I failed, I would grow. And here's what I learned. Sometimes life gives us moments disguised as fear, when in reality they are doors to transformation. The question is, will you walk through them? I'll never forget that rainy Thursday evening when I almost let fear win. Because now I know one decision, one click, one brave yes can completely rewrite your story. So I ask you, have you ever faced a moment like that? A decision that scared you, but deep down you knew it could change your life? If so, I want to hear your story. Share it with me, and maybe, just maybe, you'll inspire someone else to take their leap. Because sometimes the scariest choices are the ones that set us free. Thank you for listening to Learn English by Listening. I hope you enjoyed this story and practiced your English at the same time. Remember, you can listen again, take notes, and repeat the sentences out loud to improve your speaking skills. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next episode. See you next time.